Hello, YouTube fam. I'm so excited to be here today. I feel like it's been, at least a couple weeks since I've done a long form video here on YouTube. I've been kind of feeling more of the shorts lately. Just when I have an idea, something pops into my mind that I want to share. It's been so fun to just pop into a quick video and share what's on my mind. So it's been a while since I've done a long form video. This isn't going to be too long today. What I really want to talk about and what's really been top of mind and on my heart is our relationship with time. This is something that comes up for me a lot, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I also just want to give you all a quick update as to what I have been up to. So grab something to drink if you want, or, pop me in your earbuds as you're going for a walk and let's catch up, shall we? I got my coffee here today, I have my water. So I am filming this, and I'm actually going to schedule this to go live today, later on today. But I am filming this on March 14th. 2025 in the morning. Today actually marks the last day of this quarter for school, and I am so grateful to be on break for school right now. The last couple weeks really kind of kicked my ass, to be honest. I did not know that I did this when I first scheduled my launch for my very first mastermind. That's another thing that's going on right now. I'll talk a little bit about. But I had no idea that the launch was going to fall on my finals week for school. And so I'm feeling a little bit like my nervous system is finally kind of starting to reset and come back to normal. But I'm just really, really excited to be on break for school. And of course, like a lot of the things that I'm thinking about is reading more, getting in the bath more, doing my nerdy courses that I love to do. Like, even though I love school, there's other journals that I want to start filling out, other worksheets and workbooks that I've printed off over the last couple months that I haven't had time to get to yet. And so I love the way that my school is structured. It's 10 weeks on and 3 weeks off. So it just gives me this really great chunk of time to reset. And also, I have now outlined when I am on break for school so I can schedule in my vacations, take more intentional breaks. And also, maybe if it works well for my business and my business plan, spend that time kind of working on something in my business versus trying to launch a program and also write 8-page papers. So definitely lesson learned for sure. I felt like I was really on the brink last weekend. Just really heightened levels of anxiety for sure. And I didn't do the best taking care of myself, which was a little bit disappointing. I mean, I definitely physically took care of myself, but mentally it was a little rough. So this has been a much better week, and I am again so grateful to be on this break for school. So I'll probably be posting more YouTube videos during this time for sure. So as I mentioned, I launched my very first business mastermind. This is something that has been on my heart, on my soul for a couple of years at least. And I finally decided at the end of last year that I was gonna start this venture and start doing more business coaching. It's not gonna take up all of my business, that's for sure, because I still love what I do in terms of empowerment coaching and my journaling membership. Those things I don't feel like are going anywhere. But I've just been really feeling I've been in business for 13 years. I have learned a lot. I feel like I've learned from the best too. And I have a lot of value and things that I can offer to people like business owners, beginning coaches, to really support them in their businesses. And so I was finally brave enough to launch this course, and I'm so, so excited. Like, I'm proud of myself for having the courage to do it and like really seeing it through, and just like I really feel like the universe rewards the brave. Like there are the most incredible women in this program. It's like it couldn't be better timing. Like it just, well, in terms of, where we're going from here, not necessarily launching during my finals week, but yeah, I'm just feeling really excited. I'm going to run it again in September. This year with my business, I feel like I've been a lot more intentional. So I took a lot off my plate coming into 2025, and it has really allowed me to plan out my year in a way that feels really spacious and hits on my value of freedom, which feels so, so good. So I knew in January that I was going to be launching this mastermind in March. And so I've had a lot of time to kind of prep myself for this launch. And I think that's really important, especially as somebody who is an empath, somebody who feels deeply, who expends a lot of emotional energy, I should say. Somebody who's highly sensitive. I am definitely an introvert. Like, launches take a lot out of me. And so it was really great to kind of have this plan. And now I know like that the mastermind has launched. Now it's like, okay, I can kind of look ahead, and I've given myself some space in between, now and when I launch my next thing. And I'll really be able to give myself like the time and the space to dream and think about, the quality that I want to bring to my programs and my offerings. That is one thing that we talked about a lot in the mastermind already, and the masterclass leading up to it is like, how's the quality, right? We are so focused on the quantity of things, and that's me included. I definitely can get caught up in the numbers, the outcomes, all of those things. And one of the things that I'm most proud of with this mastermind is the quality of the content, and also honoring my energy, like being able to price this program at a point that matches the energy output, right? That motivates me to show up at this level of output and energy. And so yeah, it feels so damn good. So the mastermind is going to launch again in September. I'll pop a couple links below this video. I also have 21 Damn Early Days, which is going to start on June 1st, which I'm really excited about. That is a concept and a program that changed my life. I'll talk more about that at another time, but I get up, I'm one of those crazy people who gets up at between 4 and 4:30 in the morning, and I love it. And it was all because of this 21 Damn Early Days program. So I'm going to be doing something similar to this program. And again, I'll share more about that at a later date, but that's a little bit about what's going on with me. A couple other things. I am off social media now. So I have been, in terms of like posting and things like that, I'm off social media. I am not completely off social media in terms of like me going on there and checking and like scrolling and stuff. But my screen time has drastically decreased. And I'm not going to lie, it was kind of hard in the beginning. And this crossed my mind with the mastermind launch, like, oh, could I have gotten more people had I been on Instagram? Maybe not. I don't know the answer to that question. But what I do know is that my energy feels so much more aligned than it was before. Like, I don't feel as exhausted. I don't feel as much of that like comparisonitis kind of energy. I definitely feel like I'm able to kind of stay in my own lane. I feel like my confidence has increased. I feel like my mental space has expanded. I mean, there are just so many things that I feel like I'm benefiting from being off social media. I definitely, though, get like a little bit of this FOMO happening, like, oh, should I be on there for my business? Should I go back on there? And right now I am like definitely a solid no. I feel like when those thoughts come up, it is just such an ego-driven fear. And I know that I have other avenues and different outlets and different strategies that I can connect with people who want to hear what I have to say, want what I have to offer. And so that is why I'm like so committed to being here on YouTube and committed to Substack. Let's talk about that, because this kind of threads into what I want to talk about today, which is, our relationship with time. And I've been really, because I've had my priorities in my business and in school, I have definitely put Substack on the back burner. Like, I just have not had the capacity to create over there in the way that I really, really want to. And yet I still have this like pull to be on this platform. I really love this platform. I really do. Like, I just hope that it stays as beautiful and informative and like inspirational as it has. I love the little social media aspect of it, and I love like the longer quality forms of content. I love that they're expanding into like video and audio and things like that. I'm hoping it doesn't get too noisy over there. I don't know. We'll see. Like, again, time will kind of tell. But I just really love the possibilities that await everybody who wants to be on that platform over there. And yet I'm like, okay, how am I going to fit this in? How can I fit this in? Like right now, and especially like over this last week, I've been feeling this like excitement and this pull. And that's always a good thing, right? Like that excitement and that pull, you want to make sure that you're following that in your business and in your life. Because that's joy, that's inspiration, that's expansion, right? That's growth. And so I've been really feeling into that. And yet I'm like, okay, what can I commit? Like right now, I feel like I can like come up with a plan and I can do 2 long form posts and 2 short form posts and an audio and this and that. And it's like, whoa, Ash, like, is this realistic? I know that you have all of this heightened energy right now. And think about in a couple weeks when you don't have that heightened energy, right? And you're not at this place in your cycle that you're in, and things have maybe shifted a little bit. And it's like, it might sound kind of like counterintuitive, but it's like one of the things that I'm trying to do is to make a plan based on like my lowest points of energy. Like, what can I commit to when I am at my lowest? And, I'm spending or expending this much amount of time in school and in my business. What can I create and what can I commit to? And this is such an important aspect of our businesses. If you're somebody who's watching this and you're a business owner, we got to commit to these things, right? Like, consistency is really, really important. And even if that means 1 podcast a month, my amazing friend Jenna Teague and I had the Middle Finger to Perfection podcast. And we did once a week for a while. Like, we really hung in strong. And then we backed it down to like bi-monthly, and then it was once a month because that's what we could commit to. But we were really freaking consistent with it. Like, we dropped an episode every single month. And people appreciated that. People responded to that. We still got listeners. We still got downloads. We still got a lot of eyes and ears on our podcast. And so, it really does come down to the consistency. So that's where I'm at right now, is like, what can I commit to? Because one of the things that has been in my heart and on my heart and in my soul, it's like literally written in my spiritual DNA, is to be a writer And like y'all know, I journal every single day, and I definitely have a creative aspect to my journal writing and my writing as well, right? There's like the journaling, and there's also like the poetry and the short form stories and the narratives and that kind of thing, and like just the prose and all of that stuff. And so that's something that when I think about my relationship with time, and I think about the time that I have on this planet and how I want to use this time, this is something that I feel really inspired to really commit to. Like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, when I look back on March 14th, 2025, and I say I committed to this, how will I feel, right? When I actually followed through. When I did do the once a month little podcast or meditation or long form like story that I want to put out, how will I feel? Will that be a spiritually aligned use of my time? Abso-fucking-lutely, it will be. And so I'm at this point now where it's like, okay, how do I want to fit this in? How can I fit this other aspect of me, not just my business, but of who I want to be in the world? This isn't necessarily like some business venture. This is like a creative endeavor. This really does feel like it's for me. And also by me following my path and what I'm really on the planet to do, it's absolutely going to impact other people. It already does, right? I get so much feedback from the people on my newsletter. Like, I just have such an incredible community over there. And I always get responses from my newsletters. Like, if anything, like sometimes I would get comments and stuff on my Instagram, but I always get a response on my emails. And I'm like, okay, I really need to pay attention to that. People are resonating with what I have to say and what I have to share. And so when I think about my relationship with time, even if this isn't seen as something that's like productive or like moves the needle forward in my business, like this is soulfully and spiritually aligned with how I want to be spending my time. This is like something that I need to do, something that I need to, for my healing. I need to do this for the evolution of my soul. I know I'm getting kind of woo today, but this is just where I'm at and what I've been thinking about. It's what I need. It's what I need. It's what I need. And so it's been really interesting to kind of notice and decipher, this is for me, and it can be solely for me and people can still get a lot out of it. And then this is over here, this is what's for like my business. And they're both relevant, they both matter, they're both incredibly important to me. And if it's important to me, and if it matters, and if I'm future pacing like in 10 years and 20 years, how will I feel about this commitment now? I'll be so fucking proud of myself. I'll be so grateful that I started now rather than, in another 5 years or another 5 days or another 5 weeks or whatever the case may be. I've been kicking this around and toying around on Substack for a while, and it really does feel like it's time, So one of the things I was kind of thinking about was, oh, Ash, like, of course, I can post things on Substack, but then I can also share them to YouTube. Duh, right? So that's something I'm kind of thinking about. And again, like, okay, how am I going to fit that in? How am I going to make that work? How is this going to honor my energy, my time, that kind of thing. So I'm kind of thinking about the logistics, I guess. But I want to kind of segue a little bit now into thinking more about your time on this planet and what your relationship with time is, right? Like, we think about using time, wasting time, like how fast time goes by or how slow time goes by. Like we have this relationship with time. Like you might feel behind, you might feel urgency. Like what is your relationship with time? This is what I want you to really take into consideration and start thinking about, is like, what is your relationship with time and what do you want your relationship with time to be like? And to remember that you get to create that. You get to mold what your relationship with time can look like. You can do this by how you're interacting in your days, how you're going about your days. Are you rushing through your days minute by minute and like counting the seconds to like get to the pickup line for the kids in school, or right up to that Zoom call with your client, like up to the very last second? Like, how are you interacting with time throughout your day? Is it very structured? Is it very neat? Is it very fluid? Like, and what do you want it to feel like? Because you get to create that by who you are being in your life. You can be somebody who is working out of the energy of scarcity, or you can be somebody who is working out of the energy of trust. You get to choose the energy that you are working from, right? And so here are just like a couple questions to consider, and maybe even journal about around your relationship with time. Aside from, what is your relationship with time and what do you want your relationship with time to be like? Question number 1. Are you living on your soul's timeline or your ego's timeline? I know for me, my ego's timeline is constantly like, you're fucking behind. You're going too slow. Like everybody is ahead of you. You're losing the race, right? Like that is a scarcity, egotistical timeline that I am living on. Like I need to like jump off of that timeline and get onto my soul's timeline, which is, you are exactly where you are meant to be, right? Like exactly. And how do you behave when you believe that? How do you behave when you're like on your ego's timeline and going, oh, I have all these things I got to do. Am I going to have enough time to get them all? Blah, blah, blah. Right? How do you behave and who do you become when you're acting out of that energy, or when you've jumped onto your soul's timeline? So question number 1, are you living on your soul's timeline or your ego's timeline? I ask this question a lot. We should be asking ourselves this question a lot, which is, how do you want to be spending your time and energy? How would you love to be spending your time and energy? And can you give yourself more of that? Can you give yourself more time to dream, to think, to create? Maybe not think. We're thinking all the time, right? At least I know I am. More time out in nature, more time reading, more time in the bath, more time with your pets, more time with a certain person, right? How do you want to be spending your time and energy? And whatever that is for you, can you get bite-sized pieces or big pieces of this time back? A beautiful life is one where you spend it doing more and more and more of what you love and what brings you joy. The third question, what joy am I putting off that I can actually have right now? And again, this is really interesting, the way that we kind of work with time, is that I see so many of my clients, and I did this for a really long time too, is we put off our joy so we can get more stuff done, right? It's like we put all of the productive things first, but then that list never ends, so we never get to the joy. And it just becomes this like pervasive, perpetuated cycle of doing more and doing more and doing more, and not living the life that we really, really want to live. And so take some time today and ask yourself, what joy am I putting off, right? Have you been dreaming about like, oh, I really want to get that puzzle out and like do that puzzle? Or, oh, I've been really wanting to plan that weekend away, or I really want to go to the Tulip Festival here in Washington State. That's something that's on my list that I've been thinking about, right? Like, what have I been putting off that I can actually have, that I can actually do, that is actually within my control, right? That is another way that we can kind of shift the way that we are thinking about the use of our time and what's a valuable use of our time, right? Joy is always a valuable use of our time. So do not put your joy off, okay? Make time for it today, always. All right, I think that's all I got for y'all today. I hope you have a great Friday. I'll be back. I'll be doing more shorts, more long form. I'll be hopefully back next week. All right, have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.